before you. Well, first let me tell you, our chairman is Fred Chalmers. He was gonna be here tonight, but he's not feeling well, so I said, Fred, take it easy. We have a committee of about 16 people now. Hard-working committee, and we're trying to raise the money for the event. What our plans are is we're gonna have a 2-day event. July 4th. I'm not sure if it's the 3rd and 4th or the 4th and 5th, to be very honest with you. But I think it's 3rd and 4th. The first day is gonna be a half a day, and the second day will be a full day. And there'll be fireworks both nights. There'll be a small show the first day and a bigger show on the second day. And there is no carnival this year. There was the committee had a lot of discussion on that. We're not gonna have a carnival this year. Depending how our fundraising goes, it could get cut to 1 day if we just don't have the funds to do the day and a half, But we're at the point now, can't promise you, but we're at the point where we can do something, okay? We have a fundraising committee who's working very actively and doing a good job. I don't know what else I can give you right now. I just wanted to give you that update that we are up and running and, we're very active. We meet at least once, if not twice a month. And it's a very hard-working group and a very dedicated bunch of people.
Mr. Chairman, speaking with Joe and speaking with Fred Chalmers over the last few weeks, first of all, I want to applaud everybody's efforts in trying to reestablish the 4th of July activities in North Reading, because for years, I just know, when my kids were young, it was a great event, and even my kids today go, what do you mean there's nothing going on in town? So anyway, I applaud their efforts in undertaking this monumental task, because the 4th of July committee, the previous 4th of July committee, put in a significant amount of work and really did establish something which we found just wasn't sustainable, particularly in the economy that we're experiencing right now. But anyway, this group, Mr. Chalmers at the helm and Joe's help, and along with a lot of other people are trying to get this thing going again. They'd be applauded. All the money that you've raised, Joe, and correct me if I'm wrong, has been, again, they had 2 ways to go. They could have just had a little ad hoc committee, community organization, raised the funds, kept it to themselves, and tried to circulate it that way. But what they've been doing is bringing it right back into the gift account here at Town Hall, which has been established for the 4th of July committee years ago, which is kind of a revolving fund, in order to support the efforts. That way, there's no question as to where the money goes, who's expending it, or anything else, so they took a very good approach with that. What I'd like to do is get the support of the board this evening to authorize the town treasurer, with the approval of the town administrator, to authorize expenditures from that 4th of July gift account to support the fundraising efforts of this organization. Because, it takes a little money to make some money. So they're going to be incurring some expenses associated with their fundraising events, and of course they don't have any money because they'll all turn it over to the town. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I would like to move that the board authorize the town treasurer to expend funds on behalf of 4th of July fundraising activities with the approval of the town administrator from the 4th of July gift account in order to support their efforts.
I'll second.
Here, a second? Second by Mr. Delaney.
Doesn't
Mr.
matter.
Yule.
Doesn't matter. One of us.
Seconded
I think
by
we all
everybody.
support
Seconded
the
by
effort.
Fight for
this. We fight for this.
Second by Mr. Delaney.
And again,
Further
discussion.
Mr. Early.
In relation to that, we may find it necessary to reestablish the 4th of July committee so that they have somewhat of an executive board to work through. Again, they've got 16 active people now, as many as 35 at one point, to work through. But if we reestablish the 4th of July committee, and again, I would look to this group to send some recommendations to us for nominations to reformulate the 4th of July committee so that they can actually be sanctioned and recognized through the town clerk's office as being a sanctioned bona fide committee of the town. So that I would ask, Joe, that you bring back to your group a nomination of probably 5 people, so that a majority would be 3 for a quorum. And again, get the thing reactivated and get it going again. And that being said, I would also move, I will move later on to waive policy in relation to advertising for 30 days and all the rest. So that if they, as soon as they come back to us with a slate of proposed nominees, I would move that the board, move on it quickly to get things going. We should support the effort as
Absolutely.
best we can.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Mr. Yule?
Mr. Chair. Joe, I hope the fundraising's going well.
Yeah, it's going good. They're very busy. They've had 5 or 6
Event.
different things. It's going good.
Has anybody considered contacting the North Reading Cultural?
I'm sorry, Jeff, I can't hear you.
Has anybody considered contacting the North Reading Cultural Council?
I'm not on the fundraising committee, so I don't want to say yes or no. I don't know.
That's a possible avenue for funds, small,
Yeah.
but that's a possible
Well,
avenue
I'm
for
sure
funds.
Fred Chalmers is watching
Okay.
this right now, so this
Well,
is
good, good.
He could answer that if he was here, because he's the chair of, he's our elected chair, so I don't know. I'm not on the
Well,
fundraising committee. Yeah.
Please
No, it's
mention
good
that,
luck.
that's an opportunity there. Also, I did a little research myself. I did a little research myself and got in contact with Liberty Mutual, and they have a program that they did last year. I don't know if they've done it years before, but in 2011 they had a program of Bring Back the Fourth.
Yep.
And what they did was the towns can earn up to $10,000 in contributions. And Wilmington, Mass. was one of the towns that
Right.
got it last year. You may have heard that.
Right.
So I did some research on that, and it's a viable opportunity if you haven't heard about it before or
Well,
not.
if I may, again, I'm not on the finance committee, but yes, they know all about that, and they did look into it.
They did.
I don't know if I'm not speaking for the finance committee. I don't know if we did not meet the criteria. There were certain criteria there. So I don't want to try to answer that, but yes, they know about it, Mr. Yule, to answer the question. And I know they did look into it.
Okay, well, I have some information here I was going to give you,
Oh, what?
if you don't
I'll be
mind.
glad to take it. Sure, thank you.
And I have the contact there, Mike Ricker. Yeah, Michael Ricker, who's the contact for this area. And
Not contact, there might be the person in contact.
he's the one. He runs it.
I'll definitely see that they get it.
So, as
Yeah.
I said, there's a process to it,
Yeah.
and the $10,000 is.
Now, I do know they know about it, though.
Yeah, okay, great. I'm done.
Sean is, Sean.
And Joe,
I'm
you
sorry,
have,
I'm sorry, Sean.
you have some events planned. Do you want to announce what those are and when they're planned for?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, again, I'm not on the fundraising committee, but we do have a comedy night coming up. It's going to be at the Hillview, and I believe it's March 3rd. Fred, if it isn't, call. I believe it's March 3rd. It's going to be at the Hillview. We're trying to, I say we, I'm not, we're trying to put together, it's what they're gonna call a rubber duck race, where people will buy a rubber duck, and they're gonna dump them in the river at some point, and the first duck to win come down. That's still in the makings. We have a very, very active fundraising committee, and they're coming up with some great ideas. They've done a couple of dances at the Moose Hall, and I want to also compliment all the young adults that have been there. They've gone great. Yeah, and they've been very well met. The kids have been great. So, what else is that? I know those two things are coming up. I don't honestly remember, but I know those two things are on the plate right now. And
Well, for me, the efforts are appreciated. I too think it's
Well, you
was
know-
a signature event, so I'm looking forward to having it
Yeah.
come back to town.
well, how it all started, and I'm not looking for any credit, but we're on Patch. I'm on there all the time, as you folks know. And
You're a
and Fred
frequent
Chalmers,
contributor.
There was something on there about 4th of July, and Fred Chalmers, who I knew of him, but I didn't really know him, he emailed me and said, Joe, why don't we try to, I said, yeah, I'm game, let's see what we can do, and that's how it all started. But Fred is like, he's our leader right now, and he's doing a great job. I also want to take 1 minute, if I can, because I was the liaison, as you gentlemen know, for a number of years to the 4th of July committee. I can't believe the work that Warren Pierce did. I mean, I don't know how he found time to do everything that we're doing. It's just amazing. I mean, he had a committee, and they worked very hard, too. But, I mean, I gotta give a lot of kudos to Warren Pierce, because there's just so much that I didn't even realize, was gonna have to be done here. And especially with me as the liaison to the town committee, so I'm speaking with police and fire and DPW, and Warren did all this, yeah, Warren. So I just wanted to
Yeah,
give.
no, it was Warren, it was
Oh, yeah,
Laura
boy.
Pansopoulos, it was
Oh,
Gloria
it was the whole
Mastro, it
committee.
was Joanna Purnell, it
It
was
was Joanna,
Neil
yes, yes.
Rooney.
Yes, oh, I'm
the
not
whole
saying
host
it
of
was
it.
only Warren.
But
It was Joanna, or it was
all of them, but
Ellen Manning.
you're
it
absolutely
was-
right.
Yeah, ton of work. Those 5 or 6 people, they just, whew, a lot of work.
Well, Joe, kudos to the entire committee, and it would be nice to see evolving a whole new group,
Yeah.
because,
yeah.
you
It's
know,
a
the
very-
past group did it for
Oh.
quite a number of years.
And they just got
Yeah.
burned out, which I could, well, as a matter of fact, Ellen Manning is back on the committee. Ellen Manning came back on. I mean, they just worked tirelessly, they really did. I didn't mean to just single out Warren, I hope it didn't sound that way, they all did. But I mean, Warren was the spearhead back then, and he had to be doing everything out.
Well, he was the pyrotechnic.
Yeah, well.
Still is the
Oh, he's
pyrotechnic.
gonna be ours, too.
Yeah, he's still a pyrotechnic.
Well, thank you very much. Joe.
Sure, yeah, thank you.
So we have that motion, and so if we can take care of, dispose of that, then I have a couple of other,
So I heard a motion,
all sorts of
There
seconds.
was a second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Okay, now, Mr. Chairman, I would also like to instruct or ask the administration to provide a link on the website for the 4th of July fundraising efforts. And somehow or another instruct the town treasurer to set up a PayPal account, if possible, to allow them to, again, expand their horizons in order to accept some donations.
You making it in the form of a
Yes,
motion?
that's-
We do it through Parks and Rec right now, so
Okay.
I know we
So,
do it online now.
So again, I would like
So she should
to
be able
instruct
to-
the administration to set up a link for the fundraising efforts for the 4th of July events, and establish some sort of a PayPal account or some reasonable facsimile,
Making payments.
yeah, so people can make payments to support the effort. Put it on the town website.
Motion by Mr. O'Leary, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Delaney, further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous?
Now, one more, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, no, you only get 2.
Yeah, no.
I defer one of mine to
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. O'Leary.
Yeah. No, just to move to waive policy in relation to soliciting applicants for the 4th of July committee and the time constraints that our policy calls for, to authorize us to make appointments sooner rather than later to the 4th of July committee once we get suggested nominations from this ad hoc citizens group.
Second.
Motion by Mr. O'Leary, second by Mr. Delaney, further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
All right, we're off to a good start.
Agreement tonight.
Joe,
It's early yet.
Freddie, sorry you couldn't make it tonight.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Next item on our agenda is, do we want to sign the presidential warrant first, Greg? So that,
Well, Mr. Ferriero was here anyway for the
He's